And then one day, all of a sudden, one night you said, it must have clicked or something. I said, it did.
It did. I watched the click happen. I told you we'll go check it, make sure it's clicked, and it was. Right now.
So this is Mark Rubenstein, and this is his solo flight video. We're setting up his wing. This is the morning. It's 6:45, and we left it folded up the night before because it's just so easy to set up a rev. Here we are securing the sprog, and this is the dive stick. Just kind of snaps into place here. Tidying up, and then the tip batten. Velcro the tip. Mark's got a question over here about his flip tip and making sure he's doing it properly. He's only built it a few times. And here he is removing his nose. I think this is the first time he's pulled it out. You see he had his hands on both sides of the cable. That didn't work, but you get better at these things. And the first time raising it up, he's being a little extra careful, and so easy. Once it's halfway up, it wants to stand up, and it'll stay up there all by itself. And so now he's got to go ahead and just plug his nose back into the carriage. And we're getting real close here. We've got 2 pins that secure the nose in. These are speed pins. I'll do one side. Asking him to hook up the throttle here. Again, he's never done this before, but it's all pretty self-explanatory when you look at it. Very simple mechanisms. That's that speed pin. We've got throttle. You can go ahead and disconnect the cart here. And this rev is ready for pre-flight.
This bar doesn't have a kick one way or the other, so you can center your hands on it for takeoff. Do everything the same. Push the bar way out where it goes with the revolt, but you've mastered the revolt. Now this is easy. This is a really easy to fly trike. So you're gonna have no problem with it. Just fly it like a revolt. Let me jump in it, and I'll do a couple crow hops down the runway real quick and make sure. But you taxi it down, and we'll meet you down there.
Clear?
Yeah, I'm just gonna make sure the wing is all trimmed up, and we just built it, and it's a solo flight, so just want to make sure everything's good, and also show Mark that everything's trimmed up and good, so he's a little more confidence in the aircraft.
Okay.
So with that said, clear prop.
Now take a look how I have to add throttle to start the engine. I'm not really thinking about this, but pay attention because this is going to be key later on in the video. Now, full disclaimer, please do as I say, not as I do. I'm going to get hate mail over this. I just really wanted to test out the aircraft. I don't have eye protection on it or ear protection. I'm doing like 30 miles an hour. Obviously, I am betting my life that I'm not going to crash this aircraft without having a helmet on. I'm setting a real bad example. I apologize. I almost cut this, but I wanted to share it as well. So here it is.
All right.
Yeah,
you've got this.
Yeah, I saw you said you were going to do a couple of
landing?
I saw you were going to do a couple of crow hops. I saw the no hands. I said that's straight and level.
It's trimmed.
It's trimmed.
It's trimmed. It's easy. This is like riding a Schwinn bike after training on a Harley.
Now, Mark's never flown this before, obviously, and he's doing a great job on the solo, but he is using a little bit too much back pressure on the controls, and the reason he's pulling the bar back a little further is the controls are so light, and so he's not allowing the aircraft to climb like it should. He's faster than he should be on climb out, but it's at the expense of gaining altitude right now, and he needs to climb for safety.
Full throttle, let the bar to neutral so it can climb. What's your RPM? All right, turn a right crosswind for me now. All right, pull that dropping down, and keep your eyes up and your elbows down. Don't forget to lean forward when you get down.
I don't think that Mark realized it, but his engine quit. His propeller's turning because it's windmilling because it's on a clutch.
Beautiful.
And he doesn't even realize until he goes to give it some throttle right about now and gets on the radio and says, "My engine quit." So he started up and taxied back, and here's more.
And then it died on me. I didn't even realize I was trying to throttle.
I think your idle set a hair low, and I think I set it here and didn't realize it. So this morning when you turned your hand throttle back down, which is correct, you probably lowered the idle to such a point that it was able to die out at idle.
Well, you know why I did that? It's just it's.
No, you did right. I did wrong.
It's
my mistake. I was keeping you high, a little two-stroke motor. That's why I moved you to the right, by the way, to keep you over the field. Okay. If you were having any kind of motor issues, which you said to me, "Hey Larry, this motor doesn't seem like it's screaming full throttle." If there was any question, I turned you over the airfield. We didn't have skydiving in progress this morning, but not over the city.
Right.
And that way, if we had an engine failure, well, do you use engine to land anyway?
No, did not.
No.
Did not.
So didn't need that. We just needed a place to land if the engine were to quit. But I think the engine is healthy. You're used to a 4-stroke 912 engine. This is a little bit different. And just getting used to it. I think you were also holding onto the bar a little bit too tight, and you didn't have enough excess horsepower to just climb at 8 mile an hour over your best climb speed, and that's why it wasn't climbing early on. But about halfway down the runway, I said, he needs to get some altitude, whether that's hold it wide open for the next 3 minutes. The danger was being low and having nowhere to go at the end of the runway.
Okay.
We needed you to climb, and then you did start to climb, but you're still a little bit low. But I landed you long. But again, 2-stroke motor, you mentioned something about the motor doesn't sound right. At that point, I go into full caution mode, which is we're going to be high and long. We're going to be tight and close in the pattern, just for safety.
I appreciate
Absolutely. That. And we had the place to ourselves this morning. Predicted winds at about 0. I think we got a little tiny breeze, but these were ideal conditions.
I realized my headset volume was, and I went back here first, and it's like it was up, and I couldn't hear you too well, so I had to
adjust the volume.
Right.
Oh, you listen to it louder than I do, so it was all set up for me.
Right.
Of course, I didn't really have a headset this morning on that last one, but yesterday morning I set everything with the volumes like how I preferred it. So I'm glad you know how to work your radio. How did the rev feel?
Man, I tell you what, it does things a lot faster than what I'm used to. I mean, I was
the turn, right?
Yeah, like I was like, oh my gosh, it's like as soon as you do it like responds right then.
So responsive.
It's very responsive, and gosh, yeah, there's the wind. I mean, the wing is so light that it's like, gosh. I mean,
yeah, I tell people it's about 2 pounds of force. That's my best guess. I haven't put a scale. Does that sound like right to you?
That's probably nailing it right there.
About 2 pounds of force on the controls. It is such an experience. It's a long time coming.
Yeah.
So
long.
All right, tell viewers at home what's going on this morning. This is your plane's had some birthdays at my hangar, hasn't it?
Yeah,
It's been to every son and fen since the pandemic. That's for sure. You bought this little guy when?
I think I made my down payment at oh my God, 17.
2017. Wow.
Right.
And you went out and did something crazy. You got married and had a baby, was it?
I got married, and then a couple of years later had a baby, and then we moved, and yeah,
so life got in the way.
Life got in the way.
So you came out right before Sun and Fun, and I told you were ready to solo Sunday, the day before setup day at Sun and Fun, which we had. Well, winds aloft were over 30 mile an hour. I remember that day, and you couldn't solo. And we were blowing out the whole week of Sun and Fun, and you had to fly back to Texas.
I had to go back home. Yep.
And I told you what? I told you, hey, you're good to go. But I also told you were good to go. You could take this thing home and go solo it. And you said, okay, let's do that. And then you came back, you talked to your wife, didn't you?
She said, yeah, no.
She said, you're soloing with Mr. Mednick?
That's correct.
And you're getting a video.
Yeah. I said, hey, he knows. He says, I've got this. You know, you're gonna do it.
And we went up and confirmed that because yesterday we did 3 touch and goes, and it was pretty nasty weather.
Nasty, yeah.
And your landings were beautiful. I mean, especially for conditions.
And you sent me that one video. I get it.
That was from Giles Fowler, and that is to we'll go ahead and now we'll post it on this video again because people need to see this. Because when this part clicks, which is you're not looking down in front of the aircraft, you're looking out. You can land with accuracy and control. And so I'm glad that video worked for Mark.
Yeah, I looked at where I needed to go, and that was it. And then just it's out here, and it's my peripheral. I see it here, and that's where I need to go.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, beautiful flight, beautiful landing. Let me go ahead and turn up your idle just a smidgen right now,
Yep.
so we don't have it conk out at idle. So just get here. And
That's able to be done with a finger or with a...
yep, I just turned it. It's a big old knob. I'll show you where it's at.
Yeah, I think it was really well. Poor guy. I can't believe I did that to him. Almost killed Mark on a solo. Note to self, hand throttle does not adjust idle.
If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you'd like to learn more about trikes or already fly trikes, check out trikeaction.com, where the action is.